PD2, Dustin Bohannon, National Guard, Buffalo, Wyoming. In addition to the diploma, the honor graduates are awarded the Certificate of Achievement from the Battalion Commander and Command Sergeant Major. The honor graduates for the 16th Ordnance Battalion are PFC Sam Torres, National Guard, Prosser, Washington. PD2, Inlord J. McClatt, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. PD2, Tyler Rodriguez, Regular Army, Fort Carson, Colorado. PD2, Ordnance Perez, National Guard, Rochester, New York. PD2, Nicholas Wimbinga, National Guard, Illinois. PD2, Philip Henson, National Guard, Manchester, Kentucky. PD2, Artura Villegas, National Guard, Shelbyville, Kentucky. PD2, Leona Curtis, Regular Army, Korea. Private Adesola Finch, Reserve, Bronx, New York. Private John Mar Omkara, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. Private Austin Kyle, Regular Army, Fort Carson, Colorado. Private Benjamin Lane, Regular Army, Okinawa, Japan. PFC Samantha Davis, National Guard, Uto, Texas. Private Andrew Wills, National Guard, Salem, Oregon. Private Casey Yard, National Guard, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished and honored graduates for the 16th Ordnance Battalion. Sergeant First Class Worsley will now present the remaining graduates of the 16th Ordnance Battalion their diplomas. Please hold all applause until the last graduate has received their diploma. Alpha Company, Class 501-91 Bravo. PD2, Tim Chang, Regular Army, Korea. PD2, Alyssa Chuni, Regular Army, Fort Drum, New York. PD2, Zane Hoss, Regular Army, Fort Riley, Kansas. PD2, Cody Hummel, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. PD2, Joshua Silvestri, Regular Army, Germany. PD2, Tyler Wise, Regular Army, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Private Rachel Boyd, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Nathaniel Dillings, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Private Patrick Griffin, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. Private James Harrison, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. PD2, Detrice Bennett, Reserve, Memphis, Tennessee. PD2, Dominique Staton, National Guard, Sanford, North Carolina. Private Carol Bader Seltner, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Private Levi Olgan, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. Private Nicholas Cole, Regular Army, Fort Carson, Colorado. Private Rayan Robertson, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. Private Raheem Shanklin, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Emmanuel Toots, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Private William Trevino, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Jessica Weaver, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Kai Lempiper, Regular Army, Petersburg Air Force Base, Colorado. Private Derek Zabini, Regular Army, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Bravo Company, Class 204-91 Charlie, PB2 Jabril Boyce, Regular Army, Camp Casey, Korea. Private Justin Abrams, Regular Army, Fort Irwin, California. Private Christian K, Regular Army, Camp Casey, Korea. Private Mahogany Long, National Guard, Little Rock, Arkansas. Private Michael Moda, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Private Christopher Ramirez, National Guard, Portland, Oregon. Private Dinah Ramirez, Regular Army, Camp Casey, Korea. Private Charles Rodriguez, Regular Army, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Private William Whitworth, Regular Army, Alaska. Private Kamar Williams, Regular Army, Fort Carson, Colorado. Bravo Company, Class 037-91 Charlie, PSC Xavier Jones, National Guard, Tuskegee, Alabama. PSC Dario Medina, National Guard, Union City, New Jersey. PSC Faraz Rafiq, Regular Army, Hawaii. PD2 Evgeny Korovin, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. PD2 Cash McKinney, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. PD2 Miguel Ortiz Figueroa, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Edwin Brown, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Private Roy Garcia Flores, Reserves, Brooklyn, New York. Private Christian Morales, Regular Army, Korea. Private Antonio Rivas, Regular Army, Fort Drum, New York. Private Patrice Warren, Regular Army, Fort Bliss, Texas. Private Eric Williams, Regular Army, Fort Drum, New York. Bravo Company, Class 001, 91 Juliet. PB2, Octavian Garrett, National Guard, Parsons, Tennessee. PB2, Jean Mateo Colon, Regular Army, Korea. Private Michael Malone, Regular Army, Fort Benning, Georgia. Charlie Company, Class 02, 91 Delta. PSC Connor Osho, National Guard, Rosemont, Minnesota. PB2, Colton Blomberg, National Guard, Stanley, North Dakota. PB2, James Blomgren, National Guard, Boone, Iowa. PB2, Nicholas Fisher, National Guard, Abingdon, Maryland. PB2, Kyle Piper, National Guard, Benton, Arkansas. PB2, Joseph Oliver, Reserve, Birmingham, Alabama. PB2, Alexis Smith, Regular Army, Korea. PB2, Jazzy Smith, Regular Army, Hawaii. PB2, Christopher South, National Guard, Bell City, Oklahoma. PB2, Austin Williams, National Guard, Garden Plain, Kansas. PB2, Manuel Zamora, Reserves, Plano, Texas. Private Donzel Britt, Regular Army, Hawaii. Private Damian Brown, Regular Army, Hawaii. Private Christopher Patuch, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Jordan Gooden, Regular Army, Korea. Private Zykana Green, Reserve, Columbus, Georgia. Private Emmanuel Mendoza, National Guard, Giddings, Texas. Private Desiree Orozco, Regular Army, Fort Carson, Colorado. Private Delise Torres, National Guard, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Charlie Company, Class 003, 91 Delta. PSC Brandon Braun, National Guard, Painesville, Minnesota. PSC Miguel Jerome, National Guard, Randolph, Massachusetts. PSC Michelle Northcutt, National Guard, Greensboro, North Carolina. PB2 Lilibeth Aguilera, National Guard, Madera, California. PB2 Stephen Brown, National Guard, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. PB2, Spencer Hall, Regular Army, Camp Carroll, Korea. PB2, Gabriel Lawson, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. PB2, Timothy Siebert, National Guard, Minnesota. Private Austin Eagle, Reserves, Ohio. Private Alicia Fox, Regular Army, Korea. Private Elijah Lockhart, Regular Army, Camp Carroll, Korea. Private Starra Reynolds, Reserves, Chicago, Illinois. Private Grant Sidney, Reserves, Hampstead, North Carolina. Private Samindu Solomon, National Guard, Columbia, Missouri. Private Derek Williams, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Delta Company, Class 002, Bravo. PSC Joseph Broadway, Regular Army, Fort Benning, Georgia. PSC Elio Gonzalez, National Guard, San Antonio, Texas. PSC Ron Stevens, National Guard, Memphis, Tennessee. PB2 Anthony Bogatis, Regular Army, Fort Drum, New York. PB2 Jeremy Brunelli, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. PB2 Mohammed Khatri, Regular Army, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. PB2 Peter LaForge, Regular Army, Fort Drum, New York. PB2 Chance Markham, Regular Army, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. PB2 Keith Massey, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. PB2 Paul Nemiroff, National Guard, Kermit, Florida. PB2 Aaron Ostick, National Guard, Cherry Valley, Illinois. Private Rise Bassett, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Dosky Brand, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Aaron Calloway, Regular Army, Fort Riley, Kansas. Private Joshua Kenyatta Rodriguez, Regular Army, Italy. Private Sean Chapin, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Private Christopher Espino, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Carlos Gonzalez, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Private Brandon Hall, Regular Army, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Private Thomas Johnson, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Private Claudio Lastes, Regular Army, Fort Drum, New York. Private Christopher Long, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Elias Marcos, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Rakeem McKellen, Regular Army, Vilsik, Germany. Private Dustin Norton, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Private Austin Patz, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Tristan Kobiwa, National Guard, New Mexico. Private Christopher Reeder, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Private Robert Toole, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Devonta Thurman, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Echo Company, Class 001 Bravo, PSC Thermartis Brooks, National Guard, Jackson, Mississippi. PSC Theodore Farias, National Guard, Las Vegas, Nevada. PSC Brooke Lambert, National Guard, Conway, Arkansas. PSC Drew Larson, National Guard, Welch, Minnesota. PSC William Michael, Reserves, Perrysville, Indiana. PSC Jacob Wright, National Guard, Delaware. PSC William Walker, National Guard, Converse, Louisiana. PB2 Tristan Farrell Bacon, National Guard, Maplewood, Minnesota. PB2 Jamil Hill, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. PB2 Reniqua Polly, Reserves, Rover, North Carolina. PB2 Haley McGuire, National Guard, Rockport, Illinois. PB2 Clarimar Rodriguez Vargas, National Guard, Cherryville, New Jersey. PB2 Jonathan Sanchez, Regular Army, Fort Hood, Texas. Private Thomas Archibald, National Guard, Greenfield, Indiana. Private Michael Busking, National Guard, Carlow, Illinois. Private Jessica Ledford, National Guard, Calvert City, Kentucky. Private Tristan McFarland, National Guard, Pine Mountain Valley, Georgia. Private Tristan Meisel, National Guard, Lamont, Pennsylvania. Private Jeannie Ortiz, Regular Army, Fort Lewis, Washington. Private Jedediah Owens, National Guard, Las Vegas, Nevada. Private Tanner Reynolds, National Guard, New Hampton, New York. Private Giad Williams, Regular Army, Fort Carson, Colorado. Private Anthony Zaldivar, Reserves, San Jose, California. stand out above their peers. These soldiers will now be awarded the Army Achievement Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the publishing of the Army Achievement Medal orders.
Mark time. Mark. Through. Halt. Left. Face.
Attention to orders. For exceptional meritorious service while assigned to the 16th Ordnance Battalion as a student, these soldiers' dedication and devotion to duty enhance the unit's morale and esprit de corps. Their performance is in keeping with the finest tradition of military service and reflect great credit upon themselves, the 16th Ordnance Battalion, and the United States Army. Signed Lieutenant Colonel Susan E. Mannion, Logistics Commanding. Private Kaya Buckley, Regular Army, Fort Stewart, Georgia. Private Taylor Massell, National Guard, Clarkston, Washington. PFC Robert Setno, Regular Army, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Private Aaron Waldo, Regular Army, Korea. Private Edwin Morales Franco, Reserves, Atlanta, Georgia. PFC Kyle Stevens, National Guard, Belmead, New Jersey. PV2 Chad Seifert, National Guard, Homestead, Pennsylvania. PV2 Dustin Bohannon, National Guard, Buffalo, Wyoming. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these well-deserving graduates a round of applause.
Face. Forward. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Captain Potter will now present Sergeant First Class Worsley with a small gift. At this time, we will have remarks from the 16th Ordnance Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Susan E. Mannion.